Hello and welcome to another CCAA pre-tournament press conference. Joining me today, we have San Francisco State men's basketball team. Head coach, Vince Nglima, and student athlete, Eche Okike. Coach, Eche, thank you very much for joining me today.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Glad to be here.
Awesome. Well, let's just learn a little bit about the Gators. You guys captured the number 3 seed in the upcoming tournament. You guys will be playing on Thursday against the number 6 seed out there, Chico State. But let's just hear a little bit about your program as it goes through. Coach, just talk to me about just kind of the journey you guys had throughout this year. We got to be honest, you guys were picked 11th in the preseason coaches poll. You guys made a great run, especially down the stretch. You guys really seized the opportunity to get in the playoffs and are in as the 3 seed. Just tell me about your season a little.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it was not lost on us that we were picked 11th in the league. We certainly didn't view ourselves that way. We had a lot of returners. We had 3 returners that had scored and played a lot of minutes for us, and so we felt really comfortable as a unit. But we had some growth to do. Our preseason went reasonably well, but then we got into CCAA play and we really stumbled. The end of 2022, we started 0-5 and 1-7 in conference and hit some really tough times. And guys weren't playing up to their potential. I wasn't hitting the right buttons, and we just weren't quite clicking. But the real credit is to the perseverance of this group, and with Eche taking a lead in that is just our commitment to each other and the commitment to continue to work and believe in ourselves. And it kind of started to turn the corner, and we strung some wins together, and then it built some momentum, and the belief really started coming together. And 11-14 down the stretch here to really kind of propel us to where we are. And so obviously really happy about that, and pleased and proud of the work we've done, but we still feel like there's a lot of work still left to be done.
Well, so often you come down the final stretch and you'll hear about playoff scenarios where somebody kind of has the opportunity to control their own fate. Well, with about 2 weeks to go, meaning 4 games left, everybody was kind of just jumbled there in the middle. I'm looking at the conference record right here. You guys go 4-0 down the final stretch. Eche, just tell me what kind of clicked in, because out of those 4 wins, 3 of them came by 4 points or less. What were you guys doing to execute so well down the stretch?
Honestly, I feel like when we first started our little run, when we started going 11 out of 14 wins, it was kind of just like we knew we started the run with those 4 teams, and we knew we could end that run with those 4 teams. And I feel like it was just those games were just gritty games, and I feel like that's what we pride ourselves on, just like playing hard every possession, being scrappy, like playing defense, communicating with each other. And I feel like nobody wanted our season to end. Nobody wanted our season to end for the seniors, because they know how hard us 4 worked for this. And the younger guys, they know they're working just as hard as us. So it's just a combination of all of us just wanting to win. And I feel like that alone just propelled us to win those 4 games.
Okay, I'm just going to throw this one out there. If I had to say last weekend, tell me what shot is most memorable for you. Not just your shot, but out of all the shots the Gators took last weekend, which one comes to your mind if I ask you right now?
Honestly, I want to say like 3 or 4 of Jalen's shots. Jalen really has been balling out, and like that and one at the end of last game, and that when he grabbed the ball from the free throw and just really went coast to coast and finished that layup. It was just like just watching that guy and just like being here with him that whole time. It almost feels magical, honestly, just watching him play and seeing how much me and him have grown. So I want to say just Jalen. There's no shots, but just Jalen. That's what surprised me the most.
Well, when Eche and Jalen came in the same recruiting class forever ago now, but, we talked and we said, this program is going to go where you guys take it. And at that time they were redshirting, and they were just kind of practice guys, and but it's really come to fruition. Those 2 guys have been playing phenomenally well over the last 2 months, and making big shots. And we talked about it after Saturday's game. Is this is not a coaching time at the end of the regular season. Like it's got players need to make plays, and man, did we just continue to make plays. And Jalen and Toby and Eche and then John Bakke hits the big shot at the end of the Dominguez Hills game, and everybody's stepping up at the right time. And so it's fun to see, but that only happens when there's good team leadership internally and a belief in each other to keep working.
I'm turning the question to you then a little bit here, Eche.
Yeah.
What is the team's greatest strength that does not show up in the box score or the final season stats?
I want to say just like our togetherness and our trust for each other. I feel like anybody in the lineup that just steps out on the court, or anybody on the team just steps on the court, like we know what each other can bring to the table, and we trust that we're gonna bring it every night. And I feel like that's one of the things, like there's no animosity towards each other, there's no jealousy, and it's like I feel like having that, it's okay to have not okay to have a bad night, but like you can't have a bad night and know still that like we're gonna be okay, because we just have a whole bunch of guys on the court that are willing to just fight for each other, and we do it every night. We showed it, so I feel like that's the one thing.
Oh, good stuff. I'm turning to your coach now for more of the objective numbers here. You kind of talked about it a little bit, Coach. You kind of had 2 seasons as you talked about. First half of the year, maybe figuring out the second half of the year, you guys have won 11 of 14. Great stretch. So I don't want to rely just on the stat numbers, but what do you say is your team's greatest strength as far as like in the stat category? What do you think your team does the best if I had to put it down to one thing? Kind of identity of your team.
Yeah, I mean, well, if you look at it, we're not lighting the nets on fire. We haven't shot it great. We kind of turned the ball over a little bit more than I would like to. But the one thing I think honestly, like Eche hit the nail on the head, is just we're really scrappy. And we take every possession seriously, and we're defending at a really high level, and we're competing on the glass. One thing I would say that the thing that shifted for us really is our trust in our teammates offensively. I thought we didn't move the ball very well. We took a lot of tough shots early in the year, and sometimes we'd make them and it'd be fine, and then sometimes we'd miss, and then we'd go on these really long cold stretches, and it got really hard to score. And we've just, the cohesiveness offensively has improved as the years gone by. We've gotten more comfortable with each other. We're finding open guys when they're open and hitting them in rhythm, which has helped us kind of get some flow offensively, which kind of has relieved that stress of each possession being like life or death. And so I think that's kind of built into our confidence that, we can go down by 7, but we believe that we'll claw that back, because we know we can get stops when we need to. We're really, we play passing lanes well. We're getting steals on the ball. And so then, knowing that we can come back in those things has kind of just taken the intensity down of needing to get a basket on each individual possession.
No, good stuff. One more question apiece here. Coach, you guys have had the opportunity. You guys did beat Chico twice during this year, but like I said, slate swipe clean. It's all playoffs at this point. But you guys open up. You guys will be the first game of the tournament. It'll be on Thursday at noon. What will fans get to see in the Gator Wildcat matchup?
Yeah, well, I mean, playing Chico is always a battle. We've had interesting matchups. I think almost every time we play, it's within 10 points. And Greg does a phenomenal job, obviously, up there. He's won a lot of games for a reason. They're well disciplined. They compete really hard. And I feel like there's some similarities in our styles of play, which kind of make the games tight. And this time of year, there's no surprises. We know their personnel pretty well. They know our personnel pretty well. And so it's going to come down to just kind of being able to perform in that moment. I love having the first game. We get to be out there. We get to set the tone for the tournament a little bit. And then hopefully, we win and we can sit down and watch the next game and enjoy that and kind of have part of that experience. But we know, like you said, those 2 wins against Chico don't mean a thing. At this point, it's time to, we're going to have to make sure we bring our best effort, and we know the recipe for our success and what we need to do to prepare ourselves, and then also when we're in the game to execute. And at this point, it's kind of the matter of being able to do that on the day.
Fantastic. Well, Eche, I'm going to have you close it out. This is a question I like to ask student athletes when they have the opportunity to join this call. So here's my question to you. All right, you get to choose one of these two scenarios. Your team is up 1 point and you guys need to get a stop with 10 seconds to go to win the game. Or you guys have the chance to be down 1 with the ball with 10 seconds to go. A score would win the game for you. Which one are you going with? Are you going to choose to be on offense? Or are you going to choose to be on defense?
I like our odds on defense. Like I feel like I don't know why, but me personally, I just feel like nobody can really score on us so like consistently. I feel like we just have like a lot of dogs that just like we would pull out a crazy stop at the end of the game. I feel like
We've done it a few times lately.
Yeah, we've done it recently. So
I appreciate that. I also know that that's also the answer you have to give sitting next to your coach. So it's a given on that one. But guys, thank you very much for joining us and look forward to seeing you guys in your game on Thursday.
appreciate it.
Thanks,
Thank
Danny.
you.